We've ran out of BCAAs here at the Wendt House today, and so I thought I will go get some because I can't get any ordered online that will be here quick enough. There was a delay on them, and blah, blah, blah. So I went to Vitamin Shop, and I said, all right, I want some pure leucine, isoleucine, and valine, and they laughed at me. They don't have that, right? So they have supplements that have all three together, and I said, that's fine. Do you have any without sucralose or any artificial sweeteners or dyes or any crap like that? They said, no, we don't have anything like that here, which to me is mind-blowing, right? Now, they did have one thing. It was extremely low dose, and it was expensive for what it was, so I said, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm not even going to use it after a few days. I'm going to take it for a couple days until they get here, but I think BCAAs are really important for muscle growth. I've seen a difference in my body composition with consistently supplementing BCAAs on top of my other protein intake, and it helps me to meet my daily marker protein. So I said, I'll get some, but what I got was this, not saying it's a great supplement. We're going to grade it. So we're going to grade it. It's this. It's backwards. So I'll read to you because it would probably give you a headache to try to show you everything. I'll read it all. So it's this Body Tech Elite Ultimate BCAA supplement. Okay, it says it supports muscle protein synthesis, it improves recovery and replenishes electrolytes, and supports nitric oxide production. So let's see if any of that's true, okay? So what it has here, from the top, we'll go top down. 15 calories, okay, don't really care. Total carbs, 3 grams, again. Vitamin C, 60 milligrams. That's not doing anything. Insufficient dose, they might as well pretty much not have it in there, all right? B6, 0.6 milligrams. So not even 1 milligram. That sounds like a tiny amount. The RDA is 1.3 milligrams, I believe. So they are almost half of it. That's not the worst dose. It is a very light dose, so there's no reason probably not to just put the RDA in there, right? At least the 1.3. But we can't destroy them for that. I guess it's like, okay, right? But nothing special about that is the point. Chloride, sodium, potassium, 300, 200, and 150 milligrams, respectively. Those are electrolytes. So they're pretty decently dosed. I give it a solid grade there, right? And we'll give it an overall grade at the end. But that's a pretty decent thing that it has there, is those concentrations of electrolytes. Now the important part, right? Now these are the major active ingredients, okay? So those are a lot of micronutrients. L-leucine. This is the number 1 amino acid involved in muscle building. We find high amounts in meat, fish, things of that nature. Really meat. Things that are high animal products that have high protein. 3,500 milligrams. Okay, so that means I'm hoping that there's half of isoleucine and valine. It should be a 2-to-1-to-1 ratio of leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And that would meet us at 7 grams if there are. And that is the truth here. So L-isoleucine, 1,750 in milligrams, and L-valine, 1,750 milligrams as well. So that's a total of 7 grams of BCAAs, and that's a solid dose of BCAAs. That's why I got it. Spoiler alert. That's really all I had to look at. I knew there would be a bunch of other shit in it, but I tried to get the best one I could. Although it was slim pickings, limited options as well. L-citrulline malate. 1,500 milligrams. Citrulline malate is a fantastic ingredient for promoting the elimination of ammonia from the body, converting it into urea. It's in the urea cycle. Also supporting nitric oxide production because citrulline can be converted to arginine and then nitric oxide. Citrulline's a better option typically than arginine when we promote nitric oxide production because it has a lower what's called first-pass metabolism. Less of it is degraded before it reaches tissues to have its effect of boosting nitric oxide, improving blood flow and delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the brain and to the rest of the body, improving both mental and physical performance, right? Mostly noted for and heralded for improving physical performance, right? And so that's all well and good. But here's the problem, 1,500 milligrams. Always look at the dose. What's the dose for improving exercise performance? It's 8 to 10 grams. 8 to 10 grams. It used to be 6 to 8. About 5 months ago, they changed that 8 to 10 grams based on the research. Okay? So if it doesn't have 8 grams, in my opinion, or at least something close to 8 that's going to improve the absorption and get it up to 8. Super U has 8 that we made, right? Plus improved absorption with estrogen. It's equivalent of like 11.6 because high doses are more effective and you can have a lot of it. It's completely safe. Citrulline, by the way, is an amino acid you find in things like watermelon, right? Also in squash and other things like that. I believe in pumpkin. So 1,500 milligrams, they may as well not put it in here, right? I think that was pretty much a waste. I think they put that on the label so that somebody sees that and they say, citrulline malate, that's great, right? But this is not doing shit for you. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. In terms of at least improving any physical performance, right? Which this is, supposed to do. Right? Well, so it boosts nitric oxide production at least. And that will very, very modestly do that. Not to a great degree. Glycine. So glycine is a conditionally essential amino acid. That means that our bodies typically make sufficient amounts of it, but we can also get it from the diet. If we don't make enough of it, then we'd want to ingest more from the diet. But typically, it's not a big issue to have glycine as a supplement, albeit for certain demographics and certain disease states, it is more important. Glycine is something that is a precursor to other biomolecules. It's involved in the formation of them, things like heme and creatine, right? What else do we got? It's also something that's supposed to improve glycemic control, that's right, on the research, and sleep. It acts as a neurotransmitter, and in terms of improving glycemic control and sleep, though, the dosage is typically 3 to 5 grams in a day. Typically 3 to 5 grams in a day. This is dosed at 1,000 milligrams, 1 gram. Okay, now, again, it's not, I don't necessarily kill them for that because it's not a microscopic dose, right? And this is also not a pure glycine supplement. You have to remember, you don't take the full dose when you're combining a bunch of things. So you really can't kill them for that. You typically don't take the full dose unless there's benefit with higher dosages, and combining these things, is a good thing. They act in synergy. They actually enhance the benefits of one another and the effects, and then that would be different, right? Say combining beta-alanine with creatine, right? Or combining estrogen with any amino acid or vitamin, right? Things like that. Combining alpha GPC with Eupersia serrata, right? An acetylcholinesterase inhibitor combined with something that produces acetylcholine, alpha GPC. The learning neurotransmitter facilitates learning, memory, focus, attention. Also arousal, muscle contraction, motivation. But that's not the point here. The point here is that glycine at 1 gram is okay, maybe even an unnecessary addition, in my opinion, and that could be debated. But for the purpose of improving sleep and glycemic control, again, the dose is typically 3 to 5 grams. So if you were going to make a supplement more specific to that, maybe include it for other things, right? Maybe include it, make it alone, or with just a few things. But this is a BCA supplement predominantly, right? But it is involved in creatine synthesis, so remember that. That's a plus that we give. Taurine. So taurine, they dosed at 1 gram here. Now, when I think of taurine, I don't think of it as other people typically probably think of taurine. You think of this energy drink thing. I think it's something that's has a mixed evidence, but probably improves blood pressure, cholesterol levels, triglyceride levels, and so it's beneficial for heart health, typically, okay? Now, as it's seen. Now, it has antioxidant properties as well, but in terms of enhancing physical performance, taurine really isn't well proven to do so, aside from a small benefit that it might have on improving endurance. But in terms of muscle soreness, muscle strength, or growth, there is no good evidence to support taurine for that usage, for that purpose, right? So, in terms of lowering blood pressure, though, they'll typically use 1.5 grams in a day. That's 0.5 grams 3 times a day is what they'll do, right? Now, they put 1 gram in here, so the dose is not bad. That, dosages typically range from 1 to 6 grams in supplements, so they're on the low end. It is combined with other things. Maybe this can benefit blood pressure. Maybe this, or at least cardiovascular parameters. Maybe this is something that could work somewhat well with the glycine. I probably wouldn't include most of these, at least a few of these in my supplement. We left out taurine because of its lack of scientific evidence to improve ergogenic parameters, meaning physical performance, right? And so, For Super U, we left it out, but for other purposes, it could be good. So we don't necessarily kill them there. Taurine, okay, the dosage is decent. Maybe it'll help with blood pressure. All right. Coconut water powder, 500 milligrams. There's only 2 more ingredients, by the way. Coconut water powder is really just electrolytes. Okay, so more electrolytes. So the 2 best things about this supplement so far are the electrolyte content and the BCAAs. Right? It's a BCAA supplement, so that's number 1, and the electrolytes. Okay, and in my opinion, they probably could have just put those 2 things in it. It would be the same supplement. So in essence, so maybe the taurine also, because it's a decent dose of that. But taurine, again, is a conditionally essential amino acid, and we don't necessarily need to get more from the diet or through supplementation unless you're looking for additional benefit. Maybe in cardiovascular parameters, again, is probably what it's best proven to help with. Not that it's any sort of first-line supplement for that, any heart conditions or anything. But very interestingly with taurine, before I move on, before I get, in animal studies, if they have deficient levels of taurine, deficient intake, I should say, from the diet, because again, it's conditionally essential, your body will make it also, then they suffer some serious adverse side effects, or higher risk for disease. Things like cardiomyopathy, neurological dysfunction, right? And so it's serious. But in humans, interestingly, we don't see that. So, it's not as imperative that we supplement with arginine as it is for other animals. Taurine, as it is for other animals to supplement with it to prevent things like that from happening. So typically we'll produce enough and we get it from the diet just fine. Right? So what electrolytes are in coconut powder, right? Coconut water powder. Things like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. I think those are the 5 big ones that I think that it's pretty much comprised of, which are all great. 500 milligrams is a solid dose of those electrolytes on top of remember, 300, 200, 150 of chloride, sodium, and potassium respectively. So this is a decent electrolyte supplement. I actually give them, replenishes electrolytes on the front. They get a check for that. They did that. Improving recovery, the BCAAs are the only thing really doing that in terms of the dose. Nitric oxide production, so far, relatively low. The citrulline was really low, so yeah, it does that to a tiny degree. So it would be nice if they just left that off the front. N-acetylcysteine. So NAC is antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It positively affects levels of dopamine and glutamate. Dopamine is a hormone/neurotransmitter that is responsible for helping us gain feelings like pleasure and motivation and reward. Right? It's involved in the reward circuit. Probably one of the major things we talk about when we talk about the reward circuit. And glutamate's an excitatory neurotransmitter, right? So positively regulating levels of glutamate may help to prevent overstimulation. Too high of levels of glutamate is something that can cause neural hyperexcitation and things of that nature. But this is something, NAC, that will beneficially affect its levels, help to regulate them properly, right? What's the opposite of glutamate in essence? GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system, right? Something that will kind of slow you down more, right? So we like to play on the side of GABA rather than glutamate in the balance of neurotransmission in terms of equilibrium when we want to reduce anxiety or someone's mind from racing, right? Something like L-theanine does that. Right? Yeah. So N-acetylcysteine is typically dosed anywhere from 600 to 1,800 milligrams in a day. But they don't know the optimal dose of NAC, okay, for its benefits. Now, it also could help break up mucus in the lungs. That's only if it's aspirated. That's only if it's inhaled, right? So that's not this. This is orally taken, right? So that benefit's out of the question here. Right? We're really looking at the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory affecting dopamine and glutamate levels. Now, antioxidant because it promotes glutathione production. Right? So that's the master antioxidant in the body, if you guys are curious. So NAC here at 100 milligrams, it seems low, right? But we don't know the optimal dose, so you cannot kill them for that. I can't necessarily give them an A for that either, and things like that, where maybe if the ranges are typically a lot higher, and you see benefit with higher doses, then maybe just make a supplement that has those few things together. I mean, instead of putting low doses that probably won't do anything in here all together, right? And good examples of that are things like the vitamin C and the citrulline malate in here especially, right? I would personally say. The NAC, 100 milligrams, might do something for you, it might not, but it definitely doesn't hurt to have it in here. And I would give this supplement an overall grade of probably C, to be honest. I would give it a C, maybe a C plus, probably a C, just looking at all that. All right, I would give it a C plus, looking at all that. Okay, so now something that's very important that people typically don't do is look at other ingredients. Natural and artificial flavor. I already don't like that. Wish it was just natural. Citric acid, that's an intermediate in the Krebs cycle, that's fine. Salt, potassium citrate, electrolyte, that's fine. Silicon dioxide, anti-caking agent. Malic acid, intermediate in the Krebs cycle. Sucralose, no good. Sucralose is not good. It's an artificial sweetener. It might reduce insulin sensitivity over time. It can negatively affect hippocampal structure, center of learning and memory in the brain. Negatively affects brain health. It's just something that we don't want to ever take in a supplement. I'm having a tiny amount of it by having this for a couple days, and then honestly I won't use it until another emergency when I run out. But I never take this shit. It's the only freaking one they had, man. I mean, it's just it's crazy that there's nothing good out there. It just like breaks my heart when I go somewhere. I'm on vacation. I'm like, I can't get a good supplement anywhere. It's so hard to find. And that's why we made Super U the way we did, because I really take pride in that. So that would not be like that, of course. So that's unfortunate. Red beetroot powder, okay, and sunflower lecithin, that's just fine of an ingredient, right? And some more potassium. So, overall, because of the sucralose, really, because of everything, I would give it from a C plus, not just a C. I'd give it a C minus, to be honest. A C minus. In terms of overall health, maybe even like a D plus. But I would give it probably a C plus in terms of the active ingredient profile. Okay, so if you didn't care about the sucralose and stuff like that, but I still wouldn't put it in the D's. No, I wouldn't. I think they could have done better with synergy. Maybe something that improved the absorption of the amino acids would have been really nice here. Maybe they could have included something like piperine or estrogen, right? Something that would help you absorb them, improve their bioavailability better. If they were going to put the citrulline malate, at least maybe give us like 6 grams of it or something like that. I guess they were thinking it's already a lot of powder and it's BCA, but guess what? Then you can leave these things out. Everything doesn't have to be in one supplement. When we were making Super U One Wellness, I just bring that up because it's all relative. It makes me think of it, looking at this and think back to all the research and seeing if it would make sense to include things would make the cut and all that. I wanted to include a ton of things, but you can't just put everything into one supplement. You mix everything. First off, you get brown. Second off, you can't put sufficient dosages. Third, there's so many ways that all these things interact. It's bound for something to go wrong if you just put too many things together, right? They have to be a simple all-star team that works well in synergy to provide some substantial beneficial physiological effect, and preferably something that's tangible. So there it is. Ultimate BCA BodyTech Elite. Probably a C minus, C. I don't know. So who do we got? Let's see who's on here. Say hello, and then we're going to eat a steak. Maybe 2. But we're going to eat some frozen spinach and blueberries with that. Don't think we will. Oh my God, Willie Isaac, that is so nice. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Tia Samira. Whoa, BC Dats, Tuna, Mark and Russell. Ivan, what's up, my man? Prado. Holmes. Jacob. Oh, you got it, Ma. What's up? Love you. This one's for you. You're the best. I'm Nova. Ian DG. Ronald. Suave Style for you. Castillo Jacob. Josie Loyola. How are you, my friend? Reddit Celovaran. What's up? What's up? Pirate-ish. Sperlin Bad. Hunt, what's up, man? Love you, Beast. Thanks for coming on. Moon Goddess. Ivan, what's up, my brother? Ivan the Rocks. You the man, Ivan. Thomas Nero, Josh Winter. Saz, what's up, man? I love you, dude. You're the man. Thank you. You're a beast. Caesar, KBA. The Diary of Non, Junior Castillo. Jay Curry, what's up? Jay Pitt. Shadow Killer. Willie Isaac, we said what's up. We'll say it again. Emmanuel Pretook. Richard Wharton, MV Dillard. Rhonda, what's up? SJ, JJGVC, hello. Meg, what's going on? Hello, happy today. Princess Karaya. Mike Gonzalez and Sean D. Hamilton. First ones of the day. This one's for you guys as well. Thank you for the support. If you have any, blueberries are great, man. I love them too. If you guys have any questions about a particular supplement, why don't you do this? Why don't you take a picture of the label? I don't even care what the brand is, to be honest. You can send me both and send me a message, and I'll maybe do an evaluation on it, on When Wellness. And we'll see if it's good for whatever purpose you are taking it for. Right? So that's all we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have a fantastic night. Thanks a lot. And happy When Wellness. We'll see you tomorrow.